she said he did not choose you. So for you to circle back after he made his choice is crazy. And it is. And she was like, well, if a man steps out, that's not her fault. Laura, you might have to fight. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Kinky, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind, Season 6, Episode 11. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, in case you didn't see my last video, I have a whole new setup and a real microphone, so hopefully the sound is better. But the setup is completely different, so I'm a little awkward with it right now, so give me like a little learning curve. I'm trying to figure everything out. I heard all of you guys' suggestions, and I really do appreciate it. As long as it's constructive and not nasty and rude, I can take that, because I really do want y'all to have a great viewing experience, okay? So y'all, this episode, all of the people that met each other for the first time, it was very uneventful because everybody had already looked each other up online. So it wasn't like a true reaction to matching a voice to the face. People were able to be very subdued with their reactions because it wasn't their first reaction. Especially knowing the backstory behind Trevor, who allegedly had a girlfriend this whole time, and Jeremy, who allegedly was engaged when he signed up for this whole process. It just completely took the steam out of everything. It just took all the entertainment out of it. And also half of this episode is them wedding dress shopping, and I really don't care too much about that. The dresses that they chose were pretty. Outside of that, I really don't care about none of that. They didn't have to put all of that in there. This episode really did give filler. Let me talk about the least eventful things with AD and Clay. Nothing really happened. Like I said, she went dress shopping with her sisters and her niece. It was cute. I liked the dress that she went with, and Clay took her out on this fabulous dinner, and it was nice. He got her flowers, and she seemed very happy. One thing I did notice while they were on the date, he was talking about how much he cared about her, how much he wanted to be a good husband. Eventually, he wanted to be a father. You know, things like that. Everything you're supposed to say, but he was shaking his head no the whole time. And I feel like that was a subconscious thing. He didn't realize he was doing that, but I feel like his body language was telling on him. Child, we'll see how the cookie crumbles, but I'm not seeing it for Clay. So anyway, let's move on to Amy and Johnny. Once again, with him trying to force her to take birth control or pressure her or constantly bringing it up. I know when you're married, you probably don't want to use contraceptives, and I've heard people complain about using them or whatever, but no birth control is 100% effective. So you saying, oh, that's not good enough, you know, you going to research birth control for men and there are not a lot of options, and you looking up vasectomies and seeing that it's not easily reversible, which it's not. I agree. Like, I totally see where he was coming from with that. But it's also, you know, as traumatic as that would be for you, the same way a surgery like that could affect you long term and possibly be irreversible, birth control has been known to have some long term irreversible reactions to some people, some women that take it. Some people's bodies just do not react well at all. It's messing with your hormones. It's unnatural. I totally understand why she was hesitant to take it, but now all of a sudden she claims she's not opposed to it, and it's something that she was considering before he even brought it up. It just feels like she's doing it now because he keeps badgering her about it. This is something that you feel that strongly about, and you don't want to use contraceptives, but you want her to use something in her body that could possibly affect her in the negative way long term. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. To me, he was being a little selfish about that. If she wants to compromise, fine, but I hope she really does do her research and understand what she's signing up for. And I know birth control is very common and people are on it, but it is something that you should think about before you just hop on it. All right, let's move on to Chelsea and Jimmy. Chelsea finally gets to sit down with Trevor and have their little conversation. Jimmy did not care whatsoever. In fact, he came over and gave Trevor a kiss on his cheek. You know, I don't know. I just don't think he cared about Chelsea like that. I think that's why he's so cool with it. Like I said, Trevor is a huge disappointment in real life, so I couldn't even get into the conversation for real because it seems so much clearer to me that he's 100% here for TV, and Chelsea was an easy target. He saw the insecurity in her and he latched on to that because he knew it was definitely going to give him TV time. So, you know, she did let him know that he was her type. And girl, why you even give him that much? He claimed that he cried his eyes out when she broke up with him. Shut up, Trevor. He claimed that he didn't understand her decision, but he was glad that it's Jimmy because he likes Jimmy. He also asked her would the outcome be different had he proposed to her first. And she said no, but he didn't believe her. Low-key, I don't know if I believe her. You know, that's easy to say now. Obviously, you don't, you know, your relationship is shaky enough. You ain't trying to say nothing to rock the boat too much. Had Jimmy never said, I love you, and Trevor came in and proposed, I don't know, I could see her saying yes. But I feel like the reason why she went ahead and chose Jimmy is because he was sought after by so many women, and Jess in particular, and she wanted to be Jess. And then the fact that Jimmy is the prize child. Anyway, they start talking about, you know, communicating in relationships, and she claims she's not a yeller. And I wish they would have replayed the footage of the night before when she was going off on him for absolutely no reason. She did tell him about their fight, which I would think that was out of line, but Jimmy did the same thing. He told Jessica about their fight. She admitted that she was wrong, and she got emotional and almost started crying, and she saw that he kept the bracelet, and, you know, he joked about them still using it, blah, blah, blah. So then at some point they're mingling in the party, and Amy and Johnny, they've pretty much been all over each other at their party, just kissing each other every 2 seconds. Chelsea said something like, Amy and Johnny are the strongest couple. And immediately Jimmy took offense to that. And it's like, why are you mad at her saying that? It's definitely not y'all. Y'all break up every other day. Your relationship is about as deep as a kiddie pool. Like, y'all ain't got nothing worth having. Are you crazy? And he really tried to gaslight her into saying, oh no, but we're the second strongest. Like, he loves to put on a front. I cannot with Jimmy. See, that's the kind of thing that will really make me mad, because I'm not front for nobody. Like, it's one thing to have a united front, but to be constantly pushing to everybody that you're such this strong couple, and this is what y'all got going on behind the scenes, like, cut it. And Chelsea is constantly being a doormat and letting him run all over her. And, oh yeah, you're right. All right, finally, let's talk about this whole Laura and Jeremy situation, and Sarah and AD get into it. First, we have Laura and Jeremy. They finally have their little face-off. And, you know, he really comes into the situation trying to scold her and trying to tell him, you know, it wasn't cool for you to be giving me all these nasty responses to my text messages. And he's really trying to flip it on her like she was the one in the wrong, and she was not having it, okay? She was standing 10 toes. That's one thing I love about Laura. She was not backing down at all. She was not going to let him play the victim in this situation. She claims that she politely declined to give him her address because he was trying to send her flowers, and he claimed that she was nasty about it. She was like, well, pull the messages up. He showed and pull them up. I'm sorry, Jeremy be lying. I can't trust nothing he's saying. He's so, like she said, he is so duplicitous and very narcissistic. Like, he definitely is the type to rile her up and poke and say things that will make her want to lash out at him and be like, look how crazy she is. Classic narcissism. At some point, she called him a con artist. I'm like, girl, you don't even... I wonder, did she know about the fiance at this point? Because I would have loved for her to just drop every receipt right then and there. I wish she would have knew. She told him basically it was over and she was gonna come pack her stuff. He claimed he already packed it up. You could just come get it. Like, dang. Like, he's claiming that she's the one being rude, but he's being very cold and nasty about this. And then he was just telling her, can we just be cordial and not make everybody else comfortable? And she was like, she really went in on him at this point and was just saying, like, you care more about everybody else's feelings and how they feel. You don't even care nothing about me, someone who was once your fiance and that you lost me. You don't even care nothing about that. She's right. He showed no feelings or emotions at all, just straight face, cold. And like I said on my other review, he claimed this was his first love. This is how you act over your first love? Trash. Then Sarah shows up. And AD pulls her to the side to confront her. And she told her that it was messed up for you to send that DM to Jeremy knowing that he was an engaged man. And she asked her, well, what made you comfortable to do that? Did he leave the door open for you and him? And she said yes and was grinning and trying to play nasty work. So she felt she had the right to reach out to him because he was so conflicted while ending it. So essentially what Laura has been saying this whole time is true. He left that door cracked. He never actually shut things down with her. And the DM was just confirmation, pretty much. She knew that he probably was second guessing things, but she didn't want to be a pick me and ask if he was sure that he wanted to be with Laura. And she ended up regretting that. And so that's why she decided to reach out to him. And he told her, well, I wish you would have said something because it might have turned out differently. Girl, he just running game on you. You can't see that? This a whole engaged man talking to you right now. They talk about the whole situation where he was with her until 5 a.m. She claims that, yes, they talked until 5 a.m., but he dropped her off at her apartment, didn't even come in and have a conversation. She told him he needs to figure things out with Laura first. But the whole point is that you shouldn't have been out with him until 5 o'clock in the morning, period. You was wrong for that, period. And she just does not see where she was wrong. She claims that he told her that he planned to break it off. AD's whole point, like I said, is that he's engaged. So y'all were out of line and you was wrong for sending that message, period, because you knew they was engaged. And, you know, as AD was trying to say these things, Sarah continuously was cutting her off. She, at some point, AD was like, can I finish my sentence? Okay, please. She said he did not choose you. So for you to circle back after he made his choice is crazy. And it is. And she was like, well, if a man steps out, that's not her fault. Laura, you might have to fight. Do you know how to fight? Because she really trying it right now. Sarah was being very defensive and really acting like she didn't understand what AD was coming from with the whole situation. And she was like, well, clearly you have a vengeance for me. And AD was like, I don't care. It's not like you messing around with my man. And it's like, AD, now come on. You know your feelings are all in this situation. You mad. You going in. You doing way more than Laura doing. And I'm not mad at her for confronting it, but don't sit up here and act like you don't have a problem with what she did. But don't act like you're not giving her spice. Don't act like you're not, you know, coming at her crazy. You kind of are, but we gonna let that slide because somebody need to say something. Clearly, Sarah is not a girl's girl, and I wouldn't trust her around my man. Not with how she acted. She acted very entitled in this situation. They had a big blow up, and Jeremy decided to pull her aside, and she's sitting up here going in and going off about what AD was saying, but you didn't say all that to AD. She was saying, yeah, she need to mind her own relationship. I didn't come here to make friends. You know, all the side chick talking points, child. They love to justify their actions when they get caught up every single time. She was so mad that she got ate up in that conversation with AD. She was just, going in. He's obviously justifying everything. He didn't see anything wrong with her sending the message. She told him that if that message swayed your relationship in any way, then you're in the wrong relationship. And it's like, girl, Neither one of them take accountability. I see why y'all like each other. She says she was not sorry at all, and he told her that he made the wrong decision. Basically, he should have chose her. And they went and rode jet skis in front of everybody, flaunting the fact that they were an item, I guess. Once again, I like the fact that Laura puts majority of the blame on him, even though she doesn't like what Sarah did and, you know, she felt like it was disrespectful. She still has the most smoke for Jeremy, and I appreciate that because that's where most of it belongs. We already know that based off of everything we done heard about him so far. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below. Do y'all think these people are going to show up to the reunion? Because I have a feeling Trevor and Jeremy are going to want to skip. Maybe even Sarah. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next one. Peace.